Senegal. George Rim, I begin with you. Senegal yesterday were being sent back home. A title holder during penalty shootout. A beautiful game, which of course we saw another elephant of Côte d'Ivoire side. L'équipe de Côte d'Ivoire hier soir, c'était pas la même équipe qui a commencé ce tournoi.
Je vous avais dit qu'il faut se méfier des équipes qu'on a repêchées et qui auront à cœur d'être revanchardes, surtout une équipe qui organise sa compétition, qui sait que le peuple l'attend. Après la déculottée contre la Guinée équatoriale, il fallait montrer un tout autre visage. Et je pense qu'on a vu une très très belle équipe de Côte d'Ivoire hier contre le Sénégal. D'ailleurs, de l'avis de tous, et le mien également, naturellement, la Côte d'Ivoire a mérité sa qualification, même s'il a fallu attendre l'épreuve des tirs au but pour en découdre. Je pense que dans le temps réglementaire, il était possible que la Côte d'Ivoire se qualifie parce que, ayant été dominatrice à tous les niveaux, dans la possession, dans les duels, dans les occasions de but créées, tout était réuni pour que la Côte d'Ivoire n'ait même pas besoin d'attendre l'épreuve des tirs au but pour se sortir d'affaires et donc se qualifier. Donc victoire méritée des Ivoiriens. Vraiment, entre l'équipe qui a joué contre la Guinée équatoriale et celle qui a affronté le Sénégal hier, on peut le dire qu'il n'y a pas photo. On va dire comme cela. Félicitations au nouvel encadrement qui est là, Emerse Faye, Guy Demel, pour les changements.
Yeah. Sometimes they say change is good.
Qu'ils ont opéré. Ils ont ramené les anciens, entre guillemets, mais des joueurs d'une certaine expérience, mais pas que d'une certaine expérience, mais dont le niveau est encore très très appréciable. Jean-Michel Seri, honnêtement, moi si on m'avait dit qu'il était là à la CAN, je n'aurais jamais cru. Il a fait tout le premier tour, même pas une seule seconde de jeu. Jean-Michel Seri.
Même Sébastien Haller.
Je continue.
Oui.
Haller lui-même, il est entré en cours de jeu. Je parle de Jean-Michel Seri, titulaire hier. Oui. Pas une seule seconde de jeu jusque-là. Pas une seule. Il a ramené Serge Aurier, qui n'a pas joué contre la Guinée équatoriale. Et Haller est finalement apparu dans la compétition hier. Bref, il a osé. Ils ont osé, hein, Guy Demel et Mers Faye, ça a porté leurs fruits pour permettre à la Côte d'Ivoire de se qualifier. Et je dis que dans le jeu, la Côte d'Ivoire a été supérieure au Sénégal. Ce Sénégal-là, pourtant, que tout le monde voyait facile vainqueur de cette Côte d'Ivoire. Et vous vous souvenez, j'avais dit ici qu'il faut faire très attention. Pas plus tard que hier même, je l'ai dit. Il faut faire très attention. C'est vrai que tout le monde voit le Sénégal facile vainqueur de ce match, mais faisons très attention avec cette équipe qui est passée par tous les états.
Yeah.
Il lui a fallu attendre le dernier match de la phase des poules pour savoir si elle allait poursuivre la compétition. Quand on sort de là, quand on se relève de telles situations,
it's difficult to fall again.
Et j'ai dit peut-être que le destin leur tend les bras.
C'est ça.
Peut-être que le destin leur tend les bras. Les Ivoiriens ont leur CAN. S'ils continuent de jouer comme ils ont joué hier contre le Sénégal, attendons de voir.
All right, Jamia. We saw it yesterday. It was a very long night. After 120 minutes of play, it was only through penalty shootout that we could determine who is going to qualify to the quarterfinal stage and who is going back home. And finally, we saw it clearly. It was host Côte d'Ivoire that was able to clinch a quarterfinal ticket thanks to a beautiful last penalty for Frank Kessie. We saw the same team. We saw how change, sometimes they say it's constant, but very important. And of course, we saw the tremendous change that the team has undergone from one miracle to another. Did you see it coming as well yesterday?
Yeah, I saw it coming. You know, football is the way it is. Like I said in your last edition, I told you that the knockout round is different from the group stage. Yeah. The group stage, there you find points, and so when you find points, it's just for points. But when it comes to the knockout rounds, it is all about tactics, tactical approach and strategy. How you defend and how you approach the game. That is what makes the knockout rounds much more funny in its reality. So yesterday, normally with a team that was already dead before even the remaining of the third round matches of the group stage were played, you understand that after that win, Morocco win over Zambia, it gave the Ivorians some resurrection, some spirit at a time when they had to part ways with their coach, Gasset, who actually was replaced by an interim. So I foresaw this Cote d'Ivoire team to be like a Chelsea side that sacked Villas-Boas and brought in Roberto Di Matteo, who took over Chelsea and won the Champions League. That's what I foresee this Cote d'Ivoire side, because when they played against Senegal, I knew vividly well that the only thing they have was to go and have a penalty. And I said it on that platform yesterday that I foresee a draw, the penalties, Cote d'Ivoire qualify. And so, if you look at the game keenly, Senegal, yes, they were favorites. They scored first. But now the Senegalese found it difficult to score the second goal. They thought they were overconfident that they could destroy the Ivorians, forgetting that the Ivorians had a psychological booster in terms of the 12th man. That was what helped the Ivorians, because at the time when the Senegalese scored the goal from Habib Diallo, you understand that there was that cry, there was that jubilation, especially when they went into the second half and Cote d'Ivoire started making some moves, some chances. When they brought in the likes of Nicolas, who was running from the right, he created some good chances. And the decision of the coach yesterday, I made mention of the fact that the new coach came with a different spirit. Like you mentioned there, he took a decision which was somehow controversial, but was a tactical decision. Bringing in Casey, and taking off Fufuna, who had been one of the top midfielders of Cote d'Ivoire. It tells you that that's decision making, that's tactical change, which brings positive performance as far as the team is concerned. And we saw it when Casey came in, Pepe from the right, and the likes of giving the captaincy to somebody like Serge Aurier. It gives us a picture that the Ivorians were coming. We're not joking yesterday. They actually came just for the win, and they got what they had to get in terms of that particular game. So it is all about the knockout. The knockout is a game where you have the kind of strategy, and that was what helped the Ivorians yesterday. They had a strategy, and the crowd helped them to actually get a positive result as far as that particular game is concerned. Now, if you look at even the penalty, that was silly from Edouard Mendy, where Nicolas Pepe had to engage with him, and it had to be a penalty. So, if you look at it in its entirety, it gives you a picture. And then there was also a historical fact about that particular game. Okay. Cote d'Ivoire had never lost to Senegal in the AUCUN. That's one thing we fail to understand. So it's history, despite the fact that Senegal has the current form, Senegal is the favorite, but history has it that Cote d'Ivoire has always beaten Senegal in the AUCUN. So that is just a psychological booster. That's why I say the game is all about psychology. It's not all about the current form, but the psychology played yesterday to the disadvantage of Senegal. In terms of the crowd pulling, in terms of the home advantage, in terms of the history of the fixture, it played against Senegal yesterday. So that is what helped Cote d'Ivoire. So that's why I foresaw that game was going to go the way of Cote d'Ivoire because of those factors that I mentioned. So it came to pass that the Ivorians qualified with 3 points and defeated somebody who had won all 3 group games. That's football for you. And Senegal will have to wig their tongues. I think it's like a curse that since 2010, no champion has ever crossed the quarterfinal stage or the round of 16 in the last 4 or 5 editions. It is something which is football. And so the Senegalese have to understand. Now we are thinking now that there is going to be a new champion as far as the AUCUN is concerned. So I foresee this Ivorian side going as far as lifting this trophy because of the spirit which they have. The 12th man is behind them. The crowd they have the home advantage. That is what they have now. They don't have anything to lose, but they have the home advantage, which they can use as a tool. Because the knockout round is all about tactics. You can go on penalties, and penalty goes to anybody. That's it. You don't determine who wins the penalty or who wins the shootout. That's what killed Senegal yesterday. They were a better team on the pitch, but when the penalty shootout, they had to lose by one person, and Cote d'Ivoire carried the day. We saw it. So it's all about the strategy, the tactics of the Ivorians going into this knockout rounds. And I think they have a better psychological stability than any other team as it stands now.
Very important, Jimmy Ateke. You are not going away. We get a commercial break and we shall continue talking.
Avec MTN Elite, redonnons au football camerounais toute sa grandeur. MTN pour la passion du foot. Alors, on fait quoi aujourd'hui?
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Perhaps you are just joining us at this hour of the day. You are live on your program, Au Coeur de la CAN, at 2023 on Radio AUDACE, and we are talking about the ongoing 16th final round of the ongoing AUCUN in Cote d'Ivoire. We are going to be having the last 16 final games today, and of course, after that, we shall be moving over to the quarterfinal stage of the tournament, which of course continues to prove and provide plenty of surprises and shock as far as this year's tournament is concerned. Georges Rim, cet ce soir, le premier match, c'est Mali contre Burkina Faso.
Ouais. Un choc.
C'est West Regional Derby.
Je pense que cette Coupe d'Afrique des Nations se joue particulièrement entre deux régions d'Afrique, l'Afrique de l'Ouest et une partie de l'Afrique australe. Il n'y a que l'Angola et la RDC qui représentent encore un tout petit peu la sous-région Afrique centrale, si je puis le dire ainsi. Encore que l'Angola est presque à la lisière de l'Afrique de l'Ouest. Et la RDC à mi-chemin, à cheval entre l'Afrique centrale et l'Afrique australe. Donc, depuis l'élimination de la Guinée équatoriale et du Cameroun, l'Afrique centrale n'a plus ses vrais représentants dans cette compétition-là. Donc, la part belle aux nations d'Afrique de l'Ouest et de l'Afrique australe. L'une des confrontations de ce jour, Mali-Burkina Faso, oui, effectivement, mettra aux prises deux nations qui, sur le plan diplomatique, sont devenues très proches par rapport à l'actualité que vous connaissez dans ces pays-là, mais également qui, sur le plan footballistique, se rapprochent en termes de niveau. Yeah. Donc, je m'attends vraiment, sauf si l'enjeu prend le pas sur le jeu, je m'attends à un très très beau match de football. Ces deux équipes joueuses, espérons simplement que, comme je l'ai dit, l'enjeu ne vienne pas gâcher la partie et que il nous soit proposé un jeu fermé et ennuyeux. Mais je reste convaincu de ce que, connaissant ces deux équipes qui aiment vraiment jouer, il faudra s'attendre à un très très beau match. Difficile de pronostiquer qui sortira vainqueur de ce match.
All right, Jimmy Ateke, the very first game tonight, that's the last 16 final games, will be Mali against Burkina Faso. These two countries we know very well having political instability, but then we understand that football continues to serve as a unifying factor. And of course, that is a true sign that the King sport remains a sign and a sport that no one, where there exists disunity, football brings in unity.
Yes, football brings unity. When it comes to situations like this, we understand, we saw the case of Ivory Coast, Drogba playing a key role in seeing that the civil war in Cote d'Ivoire comes to an end. After Gbagbo was ousted and Ouattara took over. So it's all about the unifying factor, the unity that comes with sport, the joy. Everyone wants to commune wants to look into the game. So talking about this particular game, Burkina Faso against Mali, like I said, just like Cape Verde, those are the outsiders. When it comes to the AFCON, we have those outsiders. This is an equal game for both teams, Burkina Faso and Mali. But in the last 4 or 5 editions of the AFCON, Burkina Faso has performed well in terms of their performance. They've played, I think, close to 2 semi-finals, 1 final against Nigeria, which they lost in 2013, and won the 3rd place in 2017, winning Ghana on penalties, and then losing to Cameroon 2 years ago. So they've been consistent, had that magic touch when it comes to consistency. Unlike Mali, Mali is the only team that has played 50-plus games in the AFCON without winning the AFCON. All the other teams that have played 50-plus games have won the AFCON. Cameroon, Senegal, those are countries that have played 50-plus games in the AFCON and won it. But Mali is the only team that has done that, but have never tasted glory when it comes to the Nations Cup. The last time they did that was in 1972 when they played against the likes of Congo, which they lost in Cameroon. That was then back in the 70s. So this time around, the Malians, I think, yes, they've been qualifying for the round of 16, but to qualify for the quarterfinals has been difficult, and that has been the situation for the Malians. We saw how last time out in Cameroon they lost the quarterfinals. So they lost the round of 16 to Equatorial Guinea, who defeated them out there in I think it was in Limbe. So they've not been able to cross that stage. Unlike Burkina Faso, who have been able to cross at one point in time, reach the semi-finals of the Africa Cup of Nations, but will be defeated at the level of the 3rd place. So in an average fixture, when you look at it, because these are teams that have evolved in the last 10 years, have taken some evolutions to see that they get to where the big guys are. So I think it is going to be a tough game for both sides. It's just the better team that wins. Just like yesterday, we had Mauritania against Cape Verde, where Cape Verde and Mauritania, they are almost average, though Cape Verde has more achievements in the AFCON in the last 10 years. But if you look at the game in its entirety, it tells you of 2 teams that have equal basis, just like today. I think it's a heavyweight clash, but on equal basis. So I think the better team will win, but my heart beats for Mali in this particular game.
All right, Josh. Jamie Ateke says that his heart beats for Mali. According to him, he believes that Mali has got the magical power, the luck to cross through the next stage of this competition.
Chacun est libre d'avoir son équipe de cœur. Lui, c'est le Mali. Moi, je l'ai dit, c'est difficile de pronostiquer dans une telle rencontre. J'ai expliqué pourquoi. C'est 2 équipes qui aiment produire du jeu. Et généralement, quand c'est comme ça, il faudra faire très attention derrière, parce que on peut être tellement inhibé, absorbé par le jeu, le ballon, que l'on oublie d'être concentré, sérieux derrière. Donc, si, comme je le pense, les 2 équipes voudront absolument avoir la maîtrise du ballon, il faudra que les défenses soient assez vigilantes, assez concentrées, parce que le moindre égarement pourrait être fatal. Maintenant, je peux comprendre pourquoi Djeméa, son cœur bat un peu pour le Mali. Le Mali, moi-même, c'est une équipe que j'aime souvent voir jouer au CAN. Et puis, par le passé, j'étais un peu sur ma faim de voir une équipe qui est assez séduisante ne pas réussir à franchir un cap. Je pense que cette année, le Mali a les moyens, comme par le passé, mais il me semble que le nouvel entraîneur, Eric Schell, a insufflé à cette équipe une nouvelle dynamique, un nouvel état d'esprit, parce que quand vous l'entendez parler, il dit il faut qu'on respecte le Mali. Autrement dit, il veut amener ses joueurs à forcer le respect, à amener les gens, les adversaires à ne plus l'avoir comme l'éternel loser des compétitions internationales, notamment de la plus importante d'entre elles, la Coupe d'Afrique des Nations seniors. Donc, peut-être que cette année, le Mali est déterminé à aller jusqu'au bout. Je peux comprendre que Djemea en ait fait le favori du match de ce soir.
All right, let's look at the second game coming up at exactly 9 p.m. Cameroon time. The second game tonight, we are going to be having another. There's the last 16 final round game, which of course is going to be another cracker for tonight, which of course many bookmakers have said it's going to produce plenty of fireworks and dexterity. Jamie Atekem with the last quarterfinal, the last 16 final round game this night at 9 p.m. Is going to close down the 16 final round clashes, and then we shall be hoping to begin again from Friday for the knockout stage. Morocco against South Africa. The Atlas Lions of Morocco shall lock horns with the Bafanas of South Africa of Coach Hugo Broos. Now, this is another juicy game to watch out for in tonight.
You understand that, yes. The two teams, I think South Africa has Hugo Broos, the other Morocco has Rigwagwe, who is a good coach. He has won some series of trophies, champions grounds. I think it's a fixture where it's so tricky to pinpoint who is going to actually carry the day. Because normally, if you look at South Africa, yes, the last time they were in this situation, they qualified, they defeated Egypt, which is a North African nation, in 2019. They defeated Egypt and went on to lose to Nigeria in the quarterfinal round. They are playing that same North African country in the name of Morocco. Morocco has been considered, they have a balance, they have a spine, they have a balance which can go all the way to lift this trophy. But it's all about like I said, the knockout rounds is all about tactics, it's all about strategy, it's all about how you perceive the game, the substitutions, the type of players you put, the formation you put on the pitch. That is what makes the knockout rounds much more interesting. So Morocco might like. Last in 2021, Morocco won, and they went into the knockout rounds and he defeated them. So it's not guaranteed that you perform 100% at the level of the group stage and then you get into the knockout rounds with some relaxation. So that's what I think South Africa is coming in with Hugo Broos at the helm. You know, Hugo Broos, he has the experience. He's won the competition with Cameroon in 2017, so he knows who to tackle as far as that game is concerned. And he has the free will to put his players in positions where he knows they can do better. And the South African team is a much more scoring team. Yes, they had that setback against Mali in the first game where they lost 2 goals to no goal to 2. Mm-hmm. But in the next 2 games, they performed well against Tunisia and against Namibia. So I think they are not fearless side. Hugo Broos is a tactical coach. He's a good coach who have proven beyond reasonable doubt that he can actually compete with the big boys. And so South Africa, yes, since the last one in 1996, they've been having twists in their team. They hosted 2013, but they could only manage the quarterfinals. So this time around, I think the South African team has gone some kind of revolution. You could see from the way they play. You could see from the way they play, the attack, and the way they set up their play. So I think Morocco, yes, I have that balanced team, having a comfortable win against Tanzania. But you saw that their last 2 games, they struggled to win their last 2 games. Against DR Congo, it was a tug of war against DR Congo in their second game. And in their last game, they only managed that last-minute goal, I think, at the 70th minute to put out Zambia in that particular game. So the Moroccans, I can't really bet my money on this Moroccan side to beat South Africa because that's the knockout. The AUCUN is full of surprises. And Morocco is a team that they play well, but in terms of the African context, they don't prove it when it comes to knockout matches. That's one thing in Morocco which you have to take into consideration. You take their track record from 2017, 2019, 2021. They always start well in the group stage, but when it comes to the knockout rounds, they are fumbling, and that has been their trademark. Yes, they had a good performance at the level of the World Cup in 2022, but this is the AUCUN. The AUCUN is a different ball game altogether as far as the World Cup is concerned. So the South Africans, I foresee this game to have a surprise where South Africa qualifies for the quarterfinals at the expense of Morocco. But though Morocco stands as favorite, I think the South Africans have something to show because if you look at it, this is a knockout and Hugo Broos has his way. When he played a shorty team in 2017 against Senegal, he went for his tactics. And we saw that we had a draw in 120 minutes and went to penalties and we won. So he has a tactics, and so he might be able to and so he can use that tactics today, and he worked for him, and who knows, Morocco can be eliminated. But however, I think Morocco can actually still, but there will be surprises as this fixture is concerned.
All right. Now, Josh, according to Jamia, Morocco looks very fine and favorite. But then, Morocco will understand a perfect their performance at the just ended World Cup in 2022. Now, will South Africa be able to stop Morocco from shining this time around? Is what many are asking themselves at this point in time. Under the reign of Coach Hugo Broos, former head trainer with the Indomitable of Cameroon, today with South Africa. Now, when you look at the team, the clash of tonight, South Africa, Morocco, it's going to be a bomber-to-bomber clash between both sides.
Vous savez, les deux derniers matchs de poule du Maroc n'ont pas été très rassurants.
Okay.
N'ont pas été très rassurants. Il y a eu le nul contre la République démocratique du Congo et les incidents que vous connaissez avec les sanctions qui sont tombées pour l'équipe du Maroc, son sélectionneur Walid Regragui, etc. Même contre la Zambie, malgré la victoire, le Maroc n'a pas fait étalage de tout le bien que l'on pense de cette équipe depuis la Coupe du Monde au Qatar. Et aujourd'hui, il y aura fort à faire avec l'Afrique du Sud. Donc, même si sur le papier, un peu comme le Sénégal hier, le Maroc est grandissime favori de ce match, mais je veux m'inspirer de ce que j'ai vu cette équipe d'Afrique du Sud produire depuis le début de la compétition. C'est l'une des équipes qui, dans le contenu, quand je dis contenu, je ne parle pas que de l'animation offensive, mais je parle également de l'organisation défensive. C'est l'une des équipes qui, ma foi, est assez bien structurée, est homogène sur toutes les lignes. Et en plus, ils ont un excellent gardien de but. C'est vrai que de l'autre côté, le Maroc a également Yacine Bounou, mais les Sud-Africains peuvent également compter sur ce gardien de but-là, d'ailleurs le capitaine de cette sélection. Donc, moi, personnellement, je ne m'attends pas à un match facile pour le Maroc. Ce sera un match difficile.
Très difficile pour
le Maroc. Pourquoi j'ai dit pour le Maroc? Parce que c'est le Maroc qui est attendu.
Oui.
L'Afrique du Sud peut sortir aujourd'hui que personne ne criera à la surprise.
Oui.
Voilà. C'est une équipe qui n'était pas déjà au Cameroun lors de l'édition précédente, qui fait son retour en compétition à la Coupe d'Afrique des Nations à la faveur de cette édition en Côte d'Ivoire. Mais le travail que Hugo Broos, ex-sélectionneur des Lions, est en train de faire en Afrique du Sud permet justement que l'Afrique du Sud se soit qualifiée pour cette Coupe d'Afrique des Nations, bien partie dans les éliminatoires pour la Coupe du Monde, mais surtout depuis le début de ce tournoi, vraiment a très très peu déçu. Donc il faut s'attendre pour les Marocains qu'il ne leur soit pas fait de cadeau dans ce match-là. S'ils veulent se qualifier, il leur faudra aller vraiment chercher des Sud-Africains qui, bien évidemment, voudront les mettre en difficulté. Il ne faut pas s'attendre à des Sud-Africains apeurés, timorés, qui vont attendre que les Marocains aient la maîtrise du ballon et de la rencontre.
Very important. Jimmy Ateke, maybe your last word as far as the two games of tonight are concerned. The very first game, Burkina Faso against Mali. The second game, South Africa against Morocco. Your last word, because we're negotiating the last bend on today's edition of the program.
Yeah, it's going to be a little bit tough. Like I said, the AUCUN is full of surprises, and so though we have favorites in fixtures, we have Mali to beat Burkina Faso. But Burkina Faso can still turn the page, judging from their previous performance in the AFCON. Likewise, Morocco too. They have the all it takes. Like I said, they have a balance and a spine. They have everything it takes to win this particular game. But the AFCON is full of surprises, and so we expect surprises. But I feel Morocco and Mali should sail through to the quarterfinals.
Thank you very much, Jamie, for your time and input onto this edition of the program. Hopefully, we shall be together again tomorrow.
Ok, thank you.
All right, Georges Rim, un dernier mot par rapport aux deux matchs de ce soir. Mali, Burkina Faso, Sud-Afrique contre Maroc.
Que le football gagne, c'est tout. Le Cameroun est sorti, donc j'ai plus d'équipe vraiment pour laquelle mon cœur peut battre. Peut-être un tout petit peu la Côte d'Ivoire, mais pour le reste, vraiment, je suis supporter du football.
En tout cas, c'est la belle famille. Okay, thank you very much for being there for us today, Josh Rims. And of course, thank you very much, Monsieur Le Maire. I have been, and I remain Henry Wanadi, anchor in Douala. Let's meet again tomorrow. But remember, at 6 p.m., we shall be running a live commentary of the game, Mali against Burkina Faso. Don't miss any bit of it all, for we've got you covered throughout this year's competition out there in Cote d'Ivoire. Good afternoon.